Good morning to my fellow Americans and everyone else throughout the world who may see this video. Americans, did you know that America is the laughingstock of the world in at least one country? Yeah. Check out TikTok account Waterford Whispers News. They have a video snippet of a North Korean newscast which discusses the parade from this past Saturday, June 14th, 2025, for Trump. There's a female newscaster, and she makes some points about the parade. She starts out saying that the capitalist pigs, that would be America, held a gaudy and vainglorious parade, showcasing their dwindling military might. Now, I think she might have a valid point there, because I saw a different video snippet from another TikTok account. Our tanks were squeaking and making all this noise going down the streets in the parade. Now, I have no military experience. I'm not a vet. So I'm asking you all in the comments, do our tanks make all that noise? Because, again, no military experience. But if it makes all that noise, wouldn't it alert our enemy that we're on the way so they can get even more prepared to do battle against us? I mean, I'm just asking. I also noted in another video that some of the soldiers who were marching in the parade, they weren't marching in perfect unison. They were just kind of doing their own thing. Some people are saying that was the soldiers' form of protest against the parade for Trump. If that's the case, I salute you, soldiers. You're doing what protests you can do, given your situation. Especially since the young soldier, it was a white male, did a video and he was discussing how he was against what Trump was doing, against executive orders, that sort of thing. Well, last I heard, he was put on a psychiatric hold. So young man, young soldier, thank you for trying to stand up. That took guts and you put yourself at risk. I'm praying for you and I'm thinking about you. And I know I'm not the only fellow American that's thinking about you and praying for you too. Now, let's go back to that North Korean newscast, because the newscaster also said America hasn't won a war since 1945, and remember this point, when Russia beat Germany. She didn't say America, she said Russia, fellow communist country. Yeah. Now, she goes on to say that our inferior leader, that would be Cheeto Benito, was looking old, confused, and tired at the parade as he sat next to an expensive prostitute, that would be his wife Melania, and a drunk TV host, that would be Pete Hegseth. Yeah. She says that $40 million was spent on this parade at a time when our state, well, we're in debt, right? And there's poverty rising in the U.S. She also goes on to say that the Trump, she did call him the Trump, was looking pudgy and overweight at a time when Americans are searching for food. Can't afford it, basically. And then she ended it, well, the last part that I want to point out. She called us the helpless sheep. We think we're the envy of the world, when in fact, the world is laughing at us. Let all that sink in. And granted, take all of this with a grain of salt, because this is North Korea saying all of this. But also remember that Trump wants to be like the leader of North Korea. He wants his people to come to attention and do everything that he says right away. Don't think that's going to happen. Just don't think so. I mean, you have been called the stupidest president in U.S. history, and the most impotent one too. And now we know that North Korea is laughing at you, laughing at us, laughing at America. Now, one more thing. Trump passed an executive order back on January 30th, 2025. And it was basically stripping away rights to transgender people. Well, the Department of VA is relying on that executive order, and it has now passed some rules, or trying to anyway, that its providers can refuse to treat a vet who is a Democrat, or who is single. Yeah, that call bullshit. If you fought in the military or served in the military and you're a vet, you are entitled, you have earned the right to get medical treatment at a VA if you so choose to do so. So I call bullshit on this. I don't care if you're a maggot. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, independent. I don't care if you're single, married, whatever. I don't care if you're transgender. You're a vet. You earned the right to get your treatment at a VA. That's just my opinion. Now, I think this is just the beginning because they always start with one sector of people. In this case, it was a transgender, taking away their rights. What's eventually going to happen under the Trump administration, any rights that are not already legally protected, race, gender, religion, they're going to take them away from us. They're picking on the vets, but it's going to trickle down or go all over to all of us. So maggots, those of you who are vets, did you vote for this? Did you see this coming? Because some of you are single, you're a vet, and you voted for Trump. You're a maggot. Now, when you go get care at a VA, if that's where you go get your care, your provider, your doctor, your dentist, your podiatrist can say, no, I'm not going to treat you. Did you see that coming? Did you vote for that bullshit? And yes, I'm going to ask you, is America great again yet? Because I don't think so. North Korea sure as hell don't think so. And I'm sure they're not the only country, that's laughing at us, concerned about us. Why? Because we have the most stupidest president in U.S. history. Y'all have a great day.